So now it's time to talk about defending. Defending is probably the most important thing in the whole of FIFA. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about defending through balls because pace this FIFA is so important. So you need to be able to defend the through balls. Goalkeeper movement. So if your opponent does get like in behind your defence, you can move the keeper as last resort. We're going to be talking about defending set pieces and my player switching in general. So we're going to go through a few clips, talk over it, and explain what I do and my thought process inside my head. So let's get into it. So in this first clip here, we're going to talk about how I've defended the through ball down the line. So I always do offside traps to get my team as high as possible, and I defend the through ball by player switching and getting in front of the the passing lane. So as you can see here, I'll go through it a couple more times. With Semedo, I've switched to Semedo and ran it in front of the through ball option. And then after I switched to Semedo, I've switched to Van Dijk. So if it does get past Semedo, Van Dijk can cover it. So I've sort of got two players trying to get in the way of the through ball rather than just one. So also in this clip, I've tried to bait my opponent into playing the ball down the line and making him make a decision. As you can see here with, let me get the perfect pause. I've faked to run at him, and then he thinks in his head, oh, he's going to run and tackle me. But in fact, I've switched off and I've watched the ball down the line. And in his head, he's like, okay, I need to pass the ball because I don't want to get tackled. So the option is down the line, and obviously I haven't actually gone and tackled him. I'm just playing a trick with him, thinking he has to make a decision to play the ball down the line. And then obviously I faked going at him and then covered it with two players. So a lot of my defending is baiting people and making people like feel comfortable in what they're doing, and then just like last seconds player switching and like just confusing them. So here is another clip of me baiting my opponent into playing their through ball down the line and then covering it with another player. So as you can see, I have Mbappe, and I faked to run at him and then switched to my left back last second to watch the ball down the line. And the reason the ball here has gone out of play is because I've manually covered all the spacing behind, so the game automatically, because he's clipped through ball, play in front of his defender. Because there's no space there, the ball has just gone out of play, which like, on my behalf, I forced him to make the error. So that's just from baiting him to play the through ball, and then like last second, the through ball option isn't even there. So yeah, that's just another example of me baiting the ball down the line and then discarding it with another player. So the second thing when it comes to defending is defending around the box and defending around the final third. I've got a clip here of how quickly I player switch to watch everything that's going on the screen to cover like all angles while still running at my opponent to try and put a tackle in. So as we see here, I'm player switching, constantly player switching to watch every angle. Obviously, I watched the line there. His CDM's got the ball, so I want to run it in with Vieira. And then I'm trying to watch the passing lane with Varane, but then this guy made a run, so I had to watch him. So as you see here, R9's got the ball, and he's got two options. And a lot of defending is reading the opponent. And me personally, I don't think the opponent would ever pass the ball to this guy when this guy looks like so much more open, because like instinctively you're going to think, oh, this guy's like way more open, so I'm going to give him the ball. So I sort of give him the through ball to him, even though he's in on goal, just trying to predict what my opponent does. And obviously with Semedo, I come, and instead of just running like towards his player and watching the passing lane, I press the passing lane, so I run at his attacker and defend the lane at the same time. So I'm sort of doing a 2-in-1 job. And then obviously the pass ain't there anymore, and he panics, and obviously last second I charge him with my defender and win the ball back. So yeah, a lot of defending is just reading your opponent, quick player switching, but not just like dropping off and watching the lanes. It's dropping off, watching the lanes while still trying to win the ball back, so you're aggressively defending. One thing that's really important in this FIFA is timing of your tackles. If you mistime a tackle, and you put one player out of position, obviously I've spoke about how good through balls are, one through ball and they can be in on goal. So the most important part of defending this year for me is the timing of your tackles, because as I say, if you mistime a tackle, one through ball and they can be through on goal. So the third part of defending is goalkeeper movement. Now this is always last resort, because you never want to be in a position where you need to move the keeper, but the times you are in position where you need to move the keeper, it's really important to have that extra opportunity to stop a goal going in. So as you can see here, his R9 has a chance to shoot, and I've moved my keeper to the near post because I think if he shoots near post, he's got the best chance of going in from the angle. So I just want to give him as least chance as possible to go in. So I moved the keeper to the near post to stop the shot, and obviously I've saved it there. So you can move your goalkeeper from corners as well, not just shots. As you can see here, I moved the keeper from the corner because near post corners are so much better this year than they were last year, and it's much more of a viable option to score. So you want to counter that by moving your keeper to the near post. Obviously, I've stopped it there, and my keeper's punched it away. So this is another example of my opponent being through on goal and me moving the goalkeeper. Obviously, in this position, shooting cross goal is probably the best way to score this year. So obviously, I think, oh yeah, my opponent's going to shoot cross goal. So as you can see in my keeper, I've just slid him across to the right, to the left, sorry, and obviously he's made the save. So yeah, keeper movement is such an important way to stop goals going in, which not a lot of people do. So if you want to get better at FIFA, keeper movement goes a big way. And it's not even about moving the keeper the whole way across the goal. All you need is a few little steps. As you can see, I think that was like 2 steps of Alisson, and I managed to save the shot. So literally click the right stick in and move it across for like a second, not even a second, like half a second, and it'll just give you a much higher percentage of chance to make the save. So it isn't just corners and one-on-ones where you can move the keeper. You can move the keeper from free kicks as well. Obviously, this top corner here is his best option of scoring. So I've decided to move my keeper closer to the corner in the middle of the goal, so he does cover the left corner and the right corner. As you can see here, I've got my keeper in the middle of the goal, and he obviously shoots in that corner, and he greens it as well, which obviously gives it a better chance of going in the corner. But I've moved my keeper across, so he has a much better chance of making the save. So obviously from free kicks, there are more than just one option. Like, you don't have to shoot, you can go short. And to cover the short, quite simply what I do is I just take all my players out the wall. Then therefore, I still move the keeper to the middle of the goal to watch the shot, but along with that, I move my players out the wall. So if he does go short, I can just rush out and put a tackle in. As you can see, he's taken it short. I've rushed my player and I've put a tackle in. And that's just come from me bringing my players out the wall to make sure I've covered every single option that he can do from the free kick. So you can shoot, you can lay it off short, and you can also make players run over the wall. And obviously you need to defend all of it. So what I've done here, obviously, is I've taken all my players out the wall. My opponent's done his free kick tactic, and then I've last second player switch to these defenders just to watch that player who's ran over the wall. So I'm covering the player short with this guy, the shot because I moved the keeper to the middle of the goal, and obviously this guy because I've switched my player last second to guard him. So in this episode, we spoke about how to guard the through balls down the line, because obviously pace is really important this year. We've spoke about goalkeeper movement, so if they do get in behind your defence, you have one last resort. We've spoke about player switching and how important player switching is to watch every single thing your opponent's doing on the attack, and we spoke about how to defend free kicks. So in the next episode, I'll be talking about my pressing, because my pressing is what I'm sort of known for, so we'll get into that in the next episode.